Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live.
Live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Hi everyone. Let me go get my earpiece. I thought I left something behind, so let me go get it. How is everyone doing today? We have so much to discuss because we keep talking about how things are changing. People are changing. Their bodies aren't acting the same way. You could sense something's different in the air, right? And so we are at the point where we have to organize our thoughts, our families, different than we ever did before, right? I mean, if COVID hasn't taught us anything about self-care, then you're just not getting it, right? COVID was all about self-care. COVID tried to tell us that we are stressed out, we're running too fast, we're going mad, we are so money conscious that we didn't realize how miserable we were. Most of us have so much stuff that we're actually hoarders. And there are things in our closets we haven't seen in years. And it is just time to self-care. But most of us, especially spiritual people, we know it, we feel it. We don't always know what to do about it. And that's the part that's gripping at us. So what we do instead is nothing. We just do nothing, which is normal. But we're going to stop doing nothing, right? This new moon is a new moon of releasing anything and everything. Now, I might have been talking about your homes and your closets, D from LA. I had a terrible habit that my bedroom top drawer was my junk drawer. But at least I knew where everything was that was in excess. But it got to the point where it was just a mess. And it was a modern drawer, so I couldn't pull it out and dump it onto a garbage bag and sift through it that way. I literally had to sift through it one by one, look at each piece of paper, pencil, pen, and that was before I moved to the Caribbean. I must have got a sense that I was leaving, but I just didn't know that I was leaving. But I was like, this drawer needs to get cleaned out. And that was one aspect of what I had to do to release. I don't even want to tell you what it took to physically relocate. When I was so embarrassed at all the things that I collected. I have never been more embarrassed. The only person that saw it was my assistant. And even he said to me one day, he was like, just get rid of everything. And that just made me more embarrassed. but I just looked at him so helpless. And at one point, I must have spent like 2 weeks doing nothing. That's why I know what you're going through. Doing nothing, completely overwhelmed. I've never been so overwhelmed in my life. And the only thought that I had at some point was to just abandon the apartment and leave everything in it. That was the only thought that I had. And then I called my assistant and I said, "Can you help me?" Which he did. And then he left, came back, left. Thank God. Thank God. It's such gratitude to have him at the time. And when all was said and done, he could tell that I was not okay. And I said, I just don't know what to do with everything. And he was so kind. The way he said it, he goes, "Just throw everything out." And it was such a great solution. It had never dawned on me that throwing everything out should be an option. I had some guilt and I had quality things, and just throwing things in a garbage didn't make sense to me. So I had some china that had collected over the years, just beautiful pieces. So I took all the china and I put it by the maintenance men's door. And you could see them sifting through it. And I was like, oh my God, they're going to bring their wives home some beautiful, beautiful plates and cups and sauces. Oh, I really like that. I don't even know how I collected these plates now that I'm thinking about it. But they were a nice set, I'm telling you. And then the last thing and then I had different weight over the years, right? And so my sister and I think it was 2 or 3 girls at the time. One of them has since passed away. So I don't remember if that one, I think she had already passed away. And one was a little chunky like me. One was short like me. And then there was my sister Tony. And so I got, unfortunately, it had to be garbage bags, but I got 2 garbage bags. This is a true story for each kid. I call them all kids. I apologize. And I worked through it, and I was like, this one can have this size, and this one can have that size. And I actually let Tony come and pick out what she wanted first. And then I went to bring the clothes to the house, to the group home. I don't know what Tony did, but somehow or another, everybody's clothes wound up in Tony's room. Tony wound up with 7 bags of clothes, and they were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "No, let's go back over there and show them which bag brought." And let me tell you something. The owner, wonderful African American woman, she was of such gratitude. She's like, "These are the nicest clothes." And I was like, "I know, thank you." Um, and then ultimately, I had my assistant's wife come over and pick out some of the most beautiful, beautiful Sunday dresses. And even she didn't take enough. And she has my body shape. And I was like, "You can, don't be shy. Take what you want." She's up there shopping like she's in a, Macy's or something. I was like, "Don't shop, just take." But I gave her some nice coats. I say that to say I was more embarrassed that I had collected so much over the years. And I would invite you all to take this opportunity and then do it once a month to clean something out. Like clean it out, sweep it out, spray some disinfectant. Just get in your closets, get in your cupboards, get in your drawers, like with me, with my nightstand, and invest in getting rid of stuff. Take it to Goodwill or the garbage, right? And it's going to be really important because this eclipse energy is a powerful energy for releasing. Now, I was talking about physical stuff, but I know so many people that hold on to past relationships for years. And we've got to say goodbye to those relationships that didn't serve a purpose in the first place. So now that it's gone and been gone, it's the fact that it's gone that the purpose can be seen, not the continuous loss of the relationship. But we all have a lot to learn. I just want today to be the day that you begin to recognize that if it's not serving your highest purpose, not feeding your soul, right? When you eat dinner, you want to feel good about what you're eating. But if you're feeding yourself misery of past relationships, how can your heart ever heal, mend, get red again, right? Get blood pumping in it again? How can you believe again? How can you believe in the possibility that the next man that comes along is not going to be like the one that you left behind if you're holding on to the man that you left behind? Or woman. Or woman. So let me just say hi to everyone. I wasn't on the right screen. The eclipse is coming, CW, October 25th. I might have the time a little bit wrong, but I think it's at 6:18. I believe it's AM. So let me just go back up and say hi to everyone. Dee from LA, hello. Juanita, Sylvester, hello. Sabrina, how are you? Lottie, how are you? Patsy, Ori Naturals, hello. She says good health, everyone. Um, so the topic is tonight is new moon releasing. However, it's also an eclipse. So with an eclipse, it's even more intense. So let's talk about new moon rituals for letting go and how to work with the elements, right? That's earth, fire, water, air. The new moon is a magical time for a lot of reasons. Just like everything in life, the moon moves through cycles. When there is a new moon, it means it's on the same side of the earth as the sun. When this happens, the light from the sun that reflects off the moon cannot be seen from your vantage point. So the new moon is always a dark moon. Because the moon is symbolic of your inner world, and during the new moon it cannot be seen, it only makes sense that the moon is asking you to go within once a month. Once a month, you are given the opportunity to work in harmony with this moon and get really clear about what you want by doing the inner work. Using this time to release whatever is not serving you is an amazing way to work with this energy and start new. However, if you want to take it up a notch, then you look at what sign the new moon is in. And then you work with the element of that sign. Now, today we're talking about new moon and releasing. And before the show ends, I want you all to start typing in what it is that you would like to release. Because the very act of typing it in right now begins the change. So, when we're working with the elements, we add that. This time we're working with Scorpio, which is water. So we're going to make sure that as we're releasing, we're adding water elements to any ritual. All right? So, if it were to be fire, which it's not, fire energy is passionate, powerful, creative, and is associated with our spirit. Fire energy would be Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. First, pick out a candle, and I want to remind everyone for this new moon releasing energy, just use white. It's your best color for releasing because white represents newness, beginnings, purity, and manifestation. You can also use black for those of you that like black, especially now during Halloween. There's so many black candles out. I would not be afraid to use black, but I will warn you, when I've used black, the change is way more powerful. It's fast, it's swift, it's immediate. So when I use a black candle, it's because it's mandated. And I remember, as a matter of fact, when I was, there were several moons before I moved here, and I was literally saving a black candle to use to create the massive change, even though the move was the massive change. God would not let me light that black candle. For whatever reason, every time I tried in 2 months, it was not the black candle. And so I just figured out that it would have been way too much for me. And as it turns out, this move was a lot to deal with. So I can respect why, for whatever reason, I don't know if I kept forgetting or it didn't work with the energy. It was a good thing. I very rarely use black. Very rarely. If there's going to be change, I need to ease into it. So, a white candle or a black candle, it's your choice. Um, and of course, with the candle, you like to have an oil. If you don't know what oil to use, you can always ask me later. I don't have a list of releasing oils, but olive oil is a basic oil to use. And if you want, actually, you can, and like, because the 25th is, I believe, on Monday, so you have a couple of days. You can get some olive oil and break some bay leaves into it, and then use that oil for the eclipse energy. That would be a good thing. And different oils hold different energies. So choose the best oil, but remember, we're talking about releasing. However, something like lavender is perfect because, again, you want to release where you're comfortable. You don't want the energies to be too harsh with you. And we're talking about fire energy right now. So we want to make sure that we take care of the releasing and that it doesn't explode in our face, right? Then get a small piece of paper and write down what you intend on releasing or letting go. Make this anything that you want. There is no limitations on healing. Remember, what you're writing down, don't be embarrassed. It is between you, your soul, and spirit. So, commit to being honest. Light your candle and visualize what it is that you want to let go in your life. Take your piece of paper with writing on it, hold it over the flame until it catches fire. Safety practice with candle magic is my mantra.
Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live.
Thing doesn't need to stay. So it's okay to burn the paper because you're going to trust that what it is that you wrote down is the beginning of change. It will happen. So you don't need to keep going back over it. Oh, I didn't, I said I would lose weight and I didn't. Like, you don't need to keep that memory in a book anywhere. So make sure it's a separate piece of paper. Let me just see what everybody is saying. Hi, sweetie. Thank you. All right, NW. Wow. Oh, look at you, Sabrina. Well, thank you. And you know what? Do not beat yourself up. It is so easy to collect things. And like, that's the human side of us. We love collecting things and holding on to things. So yeah, it's gonna take you a minute to clean house. Don't be embarrassed. I'm just so glad that you're doing it. Oh, that's nice, Lottie. I want to release overindulging in unhealthy eating. Yes. Release past hurt. I think we have to do a whole class on why we hang on to past hurts. Remember that you're human. Give yourself permission to allow yourself some changes, but holding on to past hurts, I think we all do that. Learning to let it go is where you begin to live again. I would love to release unhealthy thoughts. Now, Sin W, I suffer from that a lot. And especially if I'm mad, right? And so I've learned to say, forgive me, God. Once I think something bad and I ask for forgiveness, it almost erases it. So don't beat yourself up. Just ask for forgiveness. Just say I'm sorry. I'm sorry for thinking that way. No, Magic Mermaid, the releasing is personal. You release. What do you need to release? That's all we're going to focus on is my personal change, your personal change. All right, let's continue on. Cord cutting. Now, cord cutting seems to come up a lot, and I don't discuss cord cutting because I feel like it's a very specific ritual, but I'll discuss a little bit today. You can practice cord cutting, which is the act of energetically cutting ties with a person or past experience that you would like to be released from. That could be abuse, childhood trauma, and lovers. A lot of people choose this method of letting go of an ex or moving on from their past. This method requires a red string. Red represents the connection. To complete this new moon ritual for couples or disconnecting from experiences, take the string and hold each end of the red string with either hand. Now pull until the string is tight between both hands. One of your hands represents your past, and your other hand represents your future. The red string connecting both is the connection between the two. Have a candle lit. Meditate on what it is you are wanting to cut ties with. For me personally, I like to write things down. So if this is an emotional situation, I would still write it down. And then I would have the red string in both hands, stretching it tight. And then I would repeat it out loud. And I would only concentrate on the strength between one hand of the past and one hand to the future. And I would recite what I just wrote down. Afterwards, you're going to hold the string above the candle flame until it finally breaks apart from the heat. You can always cut the string, but that method with one hand and one hand, you're not going to be able to cut it. So it is easier to do it with the flame. When you do this, you're going to watch and begin to believe that the cord that is separating your past from your future is burned away. And that's one way of cord cutting. All right. And then there's air working with the moon. Air energy is expansive, brings clarity, is associated with our mental process. So the air signs are Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Air energy would be breath work. Breath work is one of my favorite things. What better way to work with air than to use your actual breath? Although breath work has been trending a lot, I would still encourage it because when you're doing breath work, it does instill calmness. I remember sometimes my grandson, you know, is rambunctious and he gets out of hand. And I'll be like, let's do some breath work. And it's so cute to watch him breathe through your nose and out through your mouth. And it's so cute to watch him get into, I like to call it a spell, get into a spell. And then when we're done, I'm like, how do you feel? He's like, better. I'm like, oh, good. And I swear to God, I would see his play change, right? And so that I do like breath work for that reason, because it really can calm you down. It's one of my favorite. The intention of breathwork rituals to release any blockages within the body from trauma, anxiety, grief, anger, and otherwise by bringing your attention back to your body. The process of rhythmic breathing and exhalations releases stagnant energy in your body and raises your vibration from the stress that you hold on to. Now I'm going to talk about the earth energy. Um, and we touched on this a little bit a few days ago, doing some earth dirt magic. Now, my suggestion is that this is not the eclipse energy to do this earth dirt magic. It would be better 2 weeks after the 25th will be a solar eclipse. And that's to bring all that good stuff in. I think it would be so much better to do the dirt energy um, at the solar eclipse. Unless, the only reason why I would tell you to do dirt energy at the new moon to release, if there's a physical location where you used to live that gave you grief, then I would consider gathering up dirt in that vicinity and using it to release yourself from that location. But next month is the earth energy, the dirt energy, because it'll be in the sign of Taurus. And earth is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Since the earth element is all about the physical, there's no way to harness this energy for the new moon than to move your body. So for earth energy, any form of rhythmic movement will help. That includes yoga, dance, walking, exercising. Moving body and sweating out all the toxins and using your breath to direct the flow of negative energy outward are just some of the benefits of earth magic. If you can do this outside on the actual earth to connect with the energy more intimately, do it that way. But you can always find a nice park, touch a tree, sit in the grass, slow down, and let it flow out while connecting with your intentions to the moon. This month, we're going to talk about water, because the eclipse, the new moon eclipse, is in a sign of Scorpio. Now, actually, this is going to be one of my favorite times, because I've been talking with Ori Naturals, and she's been telling me, take your spiritual baths. And I purchased a tub, and I'm so excited to finally I purchased a tub. Didn't have anybody to um, put the tub together. I finally got somebody to put the tub together. I'm so excited to do some water element rituals for this new moon. This new moon is in a sign of Scorpio. Water is Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. So water is big. One, drink lots and lots of water. You might want to forego any sweet juices in the next couple of days. Just allow yourself just to drink water. Like begin the ritual that way. Water energy is fluid, it's intuitive, and associated with our emotions. Also, you might find yourself crying a lot or feeling sad, right? And that's this eclipse energy. So don't think that you're overly emotional. Sometimes the energy will make you overly emotional. Sometimes you just got to go with the flow. Sometimes you just have to cry. Spiritual bath, yes. I'm a huge fan of spiritual baths, and they feel extra special when it's under the energy of the new moon. Um, Also, if you want to use any incense or sage, also, if you can, it's okay if you don't have it, but any shell, which most people can find a bag of shells at the dollar store, right? And bring it in your bathroom and get some sage and lay the sage on the shell. Because where does shell come from? The water. And this is a fun way to incorporate the water element. A feather to gently wave the sage smoke. I don't always go through all of that. I think my hand is my magical wands. I just use my hand. Intention oils. Remember to release. Again, I'm a big fan of lavender oil. It's so relaxing. So I would not drive yourself too crazy. Bath salts. Also, some people refer to them as Epsom salts. Did you see something here? Oh, some people refer to them as Epsom salts. And it's really simple. Just fill your bathtub with hot water. Oh, wait, actually, shower first. That's really important. Make yourself nice and clean before you take a spiritual or ritual bath. Oh dear, I think I lost my earpiece. How did I lose it? I did, yes. Hold on, guys. Fill your bathtub with hot water after you've taken a shower. Add some intention oils. Add some bath salts. And Epsom salt will be just fine. I actually love pink Himalayan salt, but you can combine it. You can combine Epsom salt, add sea salt, add Himalayan salt. Um, Light your sage and put it in your shell and get in the tub. And again, this because it's a spiritual ritual to release while you're soaking in the tub. You know, we all have a cell phone with recordings, right? So you can record yourself if you want, or you can bring your piece of paper that we talked about, writing your intentions down, or you can record yourself, whatever it is that feels best to you, and repeat the things that you would like to release. Now, you have a couple of days to come up with examples of what it is that you would like to release. What you're thinking about today might be one or two things. Between now and Sunday, you might think of a lot more things. You'll be surprised how even, let's, if we call this a session, even this session will begin the process of you opening up and acknowledging all the things that need to be released. And if you want, you could bring that candle, again, white candle, in your bathroom, turn out your bathroom light, get it, and 15 minutes of soaking is enough. If you want to stay more, go ahead. But all the time, speaking out loud what it is that you want to release. Now, it might seem impossible initially, right? Like one of the things I would, of course, say is I would like to lose weight in a healthy way, right? And remember to say in a healthy way, right? Sometimes you say, oh, I want to lose weight, and then you can get cancer, right? No, we don't want that. We want to lose weight healthy, right? Now, is that going to happen soaking in a tub? Well, I wish it would. Magically, I would hope. Unrealistic. However, it is the beginning of the want that will make it happen. You may not see it for a year. All right? Soak for at least 15 minutes. Get the full benefit of the salt. So, I'm not talking about a teaspoon of salt, people. I'm talking about, a cup or two of salt. That's why I think if you mix it, it might be like really good. So mix it, Epsom salt, Himalayan salt, sea salt. I mean, if you have it to mix. If you don't have it to mix, sea salt is fine. No table salt, zero table salt. And with that, you have completed your ritual. Um, some people, all my crystal friends, oh, they love crystals. So you could bring crystals in the bathtub with you as long as it's water friendly. Something like cellulite is not water friendly, but rose quartz is, crystal quartz is, smoky quartz is. Crystals are a terrific way to connect with elements. And maybe the crystals might be better for next month, right? Because next month is the earth energy, and crystals come from the earth. Hold on, I'm going to send over what a dark moon looks like. So pretty. I love the moon. Do you all love the moon? I am in love with the moon. And I never used to be. I'm a solar person. And I don't know who I was doing a reading with, but the person said it. Either the person said it twice, or I had two different readings, and two different people said, talk to the moon. And I was like, I will. And ironically, where I moved here, the full moon shows up at my front door for hours. It is so pretty. So this is an eclipse new moon. I'm obsessed with the moon. I know. Sylvester goes, the moon is my lover. Yes, every time I ask the universe for something, I say it in a positive way. Oh, your voice is so relaxing. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, okay. So you love lavender oil, which I think is great too. Peppermint oil might sting, so I would be really cautious with peppermint oil, especially if you have a cut or a sore. So I'm not a fan of peppermint oil in my bath. Lavender oil, I absolutely love. Orange oils, organic olive oils, exactly. Just when you said no juices, I'm sitting here drinking orange juice. Well, I'm only saying give up the juices through the eclipse. So once we pass the eclipse, you can go back to drinking your juices if your body lets you. I made my mom a beautiful spiritual cleansing bath set. She's in love and have been releasing a lot of negative energy. Wow. Oh, look at this. Me too, at Sylvester. I'm releasing self-sabotage. Sylvester says, I'm releasing myself of self-sabotage and mental unclarity. Wow. I also brought some dragon's blood sage. Oh, I have some dragon's blood sage. Oh, I'm going to get mine out too. Beautiful. How do you deal with cutting off your children? So, I don't know what you mean by cutting them off, right? I'm assuming that they're coming around, and I'm assuming that they're annoying you. So, is that what you mean, Bib Health? Um, we want to be careful the way we think. You know, somebody just mentioned that they have trouble with ugly thoughts, right? So, whenever we discuss our children, we want to be really, really careful what it is that we need to change, right? So, I'm going to say that it's not about cutting off your children, it's about you changing how you treat them, right? So, the requirement for change is within you. I don't know what you mean, but I tell everyone no is a whole sentence. You tell your children no, they'll never come around. I promise you. They'll be so mad at you, they'll never come around. So, if you want to elaborate what you mean by that, maybe we can discuss it further. So, let me get back to where am I? So, I just want to talk about the crystals real quick because the crystals we can work on in 2 weeks for the Earth solar eclipse. And that's going to be exciting because Earth is all about expansion. See, Earth is untethered, right? You cannot control Earth energy, although they are probably the most disciplined people, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. But when we talk about the earth, we want expansion. This is where our flowers grow, our bushes, our trees. We want our trees to grow so big, big, big up in the sky. And that's because you can't tether earth energy, right? So with that being said, um, let's work on what crystals we should consider for next month. Crystals are a terrific way to connect with earth element because crystals come from the earth. Each crystal has its own energy and radiates a certain vibration depending on its type. You can pick and choose the crystals to work with depending on your intentions for the eclipse full moon and what you would like to cultivate. Hold these crystals in your hand while you meditate on the moon's energy to enhance your specific intention. Also, Remember, we are preparing for the solar eclipse energy, which is expansion, fill me up, abundance, prosperity. We can collect water and put the crystals inside water and let it sit there for 2 weeks. That will get magnified. You can also put, you could just take a water bottle. You could put the water bottle on a windowsill for the next 2 weeks and let the sun communicate with the crystal inside the, and then you do another ritual and you put the water that you've cultivated, let's just say it's rose quartz, and then you put it in your bath water. Ooh, that sounds so exciting. So let me give you a few crystals that may help you, right? Most black crystals are protective. Most of the black crystals are protective. For example, onyx cleans and gets rid of any negative energy. Rose quartz promotes self-worth, love, and beauty. Jasper is about empowerment. Clear quartz amplifies energy and gives you clarity. And tiger's eye eliminates self-doubt or anxiety, good for motivation. All right? In the end, you can see that there are so many ways to create rituals of letting go. No ritual is wrong, and no ritual is right. You connect the way your spirit connects for the need that you have. If you can't think straight and you want to do something really quick, just do something. There's no right or wrong way. All right? Consider the element that you're working with. Remember, this time we're working with water energy. Also, if anybody has an altar, put water on your altar. Thank your ancestors. Thank your gods. Thank your deities for helping you, helping your emotions, right? But it's more about harnessing how to do a ritual and then do it and then feel the power that you've created in allowing for change. Now, for those of you that get to see the moon, talk to the moon. Or you won't be able to see it, right? Because it's a dark moon. We won't be able to see it. By the way, it's a partial solar eclipse, not a full solar eclipse, a partial new moon eclipse. I think next month is a full moon solar eclipse. All right, so we won't be able to see the moon, but the moon is there. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. We don't see air, but we breathe it in every day. So don't be afraid to talk to the moon. Sunday night, right? Because I think the eclipse happens at 6:18 in the morning. Does anybody else know when the eclipse is going to happen? I didn't check it. Let me check it right now. Eclipse. Let's see. Nope. What time is the October 25th, 2022 eclipse? All right. This particular solar eclipse will begin, it's very important, at 4:58 a.m. And I think it will approximately end at 9:01 Eastern time. That's really long. So, if you want to do this ritual, by the way, I'm not a fan of doing it just one time. Me personally, I'm going to start my ritual tomorrow, and I'm going to do it again on Sunday night. And if I was smart, I would have done it tonight, but I was working and I forgot because I like to do things in threes. So I'm going to do it Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday night. Who cares? The eclipse will already be past, but it still will be good to do the energy. All right, guys. I actually woke up to the moon, holding my candle, praying, talking to the moon, doing my ritual. I love that. Hi, Juanita. I do rituals to the moon. Yes, your voice is relaxing. Okay. Thank you, Lottie. All right. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Thank you, Misha. I like that you had this black candle sitting on your altar for months in W. Oh, darn it. I wasn't watching the feed, everyone. And so for some reason, it's limiting um, going back up. So I'm missing anyone from 9 o'clock on. I mean, I said hi to everyone, but because I wasn't watching. Sometimes I don't watch the feed because it might interfere or confuse me with what I need to tell you guys. I get easily distracted. And so now that I'm going back, so if anybody has any questions, let me know. But for right now, can you all put in the things that you need to release? Be honest, be truthful. Honest and truthful is the same thing. Be clear. Don't make spirit second guess. Be clear. Nobody knows what you need unless you speak it. That goes with talking to spirit, talking to God, in your relationships. Nobody knows what you need unless you speak on it. So, I'm going to type in what I need to release. What do I need to release? So many things. So many things. I need to release negative thinking. I need to release, let's write it down like this. I need to release body weight. I need to release or figure out toxins in my body that constantly affect me. I love potato chips, but I just said today I need to release potato chips from my life. Don't need it. I just want it, but I don't need it. What else do I need to release, God? I need to release overspending. What else do I need to release, God? I think that's it. Lord love. I need to release that love is not what I want. I don't know if I said it well, but I kind of do say that. I kind of say, I don't need love. I don't need love. But it's not true. I think it's a protective statement that I constantly say. And I would like to stop saying that. But it's really hard for me to say, I need love. Like, even right now, I started to hyperventilate. I was like, I was like, I, 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 no, I do need love. So I need to stop saying, I need to release that love is not what I want. I don't know if I phrased it well, though. I want to release fear when my body feels uncomfortable with and for best love in everything. Yes. Remember, we're talking about releasing. So you started out really good. I want to release fear. I love that. And I want to release fear when my body feels uncomfortable, right? The last part of it we want to bring in so we can do that at the in 2 weeks, Lottie. Sin W goes, I need to release potato chips too. Yes, yes. Anybody else? I know you guys were saying it earlier, and I did catch some of it, but now they won't let me go back up anymore. Anybody else? I know you guys were saying it already, and I'm so sorry if I didn't catch everyone's release. Yeah, so time to give it up now, Sin W. Give yourself permission to let it go. I mean, my potato chip addiction only came after I came to the island. I didn't have it in California. So it's a comfort food for me. And I have to recognize that I don't need food. Oh, let's do that. I don't need food for comfort. I need to be Lee's micromanaging. Oh, I need to release micromanaging my adult kids. Yeah, especially if they're adults, Sandra Joe. You know what you do with your adult kids? You just say to them, what do you want to do? How do you want to handle it? Especially if you say, I trust you. Trust your kids. You made them, right? You didn't make them to hold and cage them emotionally. Hand them the torch and tell them, I trust the decisions that you're going to make. Okay, Lottie, we're confusing our wants with releasing. The wants we're going to do next month. We're only going to release. I'm releasing what that prevents you from finding a man. What is it that prevents you? What it is in that stops you from moving forward in relationships? Yes, thank you, Lottie. Yes. Let me show you another example of a moon. And this is what a new moon looks like. How pretty is that? But you can't see the new moon. But how pretty is that? It's so pretty. All right, everyone. I don't know if everyone is typing, but I have done my job and I hope I helped. Please let me know if I have made a difference in your lives. I think the only thing I care about anymore at this stage is that I am helping to make a difference in your lives. It's the only thing I care about. That's what I'm going to work on. So if no one has anything else to say, I want to thank you all for coming in tonight. Get started with those new moon rituals and have a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be a big 8 by 10 paper. I would cut that in half and then I would fold that and cut that in half. It doesn't have to be a big piece. Remember, you're going to burn the paper. Remember, safety first. Remember, the stove is a perfect place to burn the paper or your kitchen sink, right? Start your list right now. I mean, once I started my list, I was like, oh, I got some issues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, and 6 things. I think it's 6 things altogether. Thank you, CW, CW. Oh, thank you, Lottie. So don't forget, we are releasing. What do you want to get rid of? Hoarders, hoarding is a physical act, so that's not something you need to put on paper. Pick a drawer, get underneath that bed, look at your closets, see what you can donate to Goodwill. And let me tell you something, it'll be painful. I don't know what it is about hoarding, but it is painful to get rid of it. I was overwhelmed. And thank God for my assistant, because he just looked at me. He was like, get rid of everything. And I was like, you're right. Let's do this. And that's when we started. Oh, I just want to tell you one last thing. I had my assistant's wife come over, and poor thing, I wish she would have taken the whole closet, right? She wouldn't have had to shop for clothes for 1,000 years, right? But it's also about people's personal style, so I get it. I still had so much clothes left over that I had a clothes rack in my house with 2 closets. Man, we put that clothes rack. Oh my God. We put the clothes rack outside. I purposely did it over the weekend because management is nowhere to be found. I did not put it near the dumpster. I did not. I put it outside, put all the clothes on top of it, and left a note to say, take what you want. Now, I watched that clothesline from a distance. Clothes rack, right up until the lights went out, 9 o'clock, nobody had touched that clothes rack. When I woke up in the morning, the whole thing was gone. Nobody sifted through anything. They took the whole rack. I was dying. I was like, wait, all right. Somebody was happy. You're welcome, Sandra Joe. You're welcome, Lottie. You're welcome, CW. And anybody else that's listening, thank you. And good night. I love you all. Take it easy. Bye.
Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live.